We'll move on to another game that VAR had a bit of controversy in, a big game nearing the top of the table, and that was Newcastle defeating Arsenal by 1-0. A goal coming from Anthony Gordon, the controversial one. 3 VAR checks for that goal, by the way. One was the offside, one was the ball in out of play, and one was the foul.
The foul, yeah.
I think if you're checking VAR 3 times for the same incident, for different scenarios sort of thing, that goal shouldn't be given.
Yeah, when you think of it, it's almost like, when you look at it just from that like paper value, just straight at it, then you just think, surely it can't be right if there's that many checks. And then to come out with all the same answers of, we didn't have the correct angles or the significant evidence. I think it was the
we're in the Premier League.
That baffles me and that annoys me so much, because you watch it and you think you've got however much technology around there, and even when they're showing you sometimes the offsides, they're like to the side and not straight on, and you think, fuck me, how hard can it be? Sorry, but to get in line, like it just, it really, that annoys me so much. And then, to be fair, the looked didn't look out of play. It looked the whole ball, it looked very close.
I don't think it was offside either. I think
the foul might be a foul.
Might be, yeah. It's questionable.
Because it's a weird one.
I will say, I don't think Arsenal deserves to win that game at all.
No, it had 0-0 written all over it, I think. If anything, Newcastle probably should have nicked it 1-0.
Yeah,
Callum Wilson
probably
had a big chance
result on the whole game.
Like,
we're talking about the goal maybe not being allowed, but let's have a real word of ourselves here. David Raya flapping at it like that. I think he deserves to go 1-0 down for that.
Yeah, people completely overlook. And even Gabriel, really, like, the way he's trying to clear it, like, he's already going down, so it's like probably not the best way, maybe, but I don't know. I think, as you said, Newcastle just outworked them. Like, they clearly don't have the same quality as Arsenal.
Another issue I have is Arsenal's sort of naiveness with their corner routines. You're in the last 10 minutes of the game. The only real tall players that I kind of noticed for Newcastle was the Lascelles, Cher, Joel Linton on the pitch at that point of time. Obviously, I'm Nick Pope, the goalkeeper. But then you look at Arsenal, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Rice, all in the box.
Yeah. Havertz would have been on as well, I think.
He might have been on at that time as well.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking to yourself, why am I going to hit that first Newcastle defender every time? And it was consecutive corners of like 3 or 4 corners in sort of that in stoppage time, where Arsenal kept.
Yeah, Trossard did some horrible corners.
It was awful. Yeah. And the fact is, I'm not obviously. I know it's very Sunday League of me to say stick it in the mixer, but stick it in that zone, in that 12-yard area where those 4 players that I've mentioned, or 5 if Havertz,
give them something to attack.
Give them something to attack, because if you're not giving those players anything to attack, like you're going front post every corner, hitting that first Newcastle defender. They've sussed that routine out. Right, move on. Stick it in an area where you can actually create something, and stop being naive by going for the same routine that clearly isn't working, because you're not giving yourself any chance of scoring a goal and getting that equaliser. And even Arsenal fans are naive as well by saying sort of like, but that's our corner routine. It's got us so many goals over the last 2 seasons. Great. That's fantastic for the last 2 seasons. But
you need to
on
adapt.
The base of that game, it clearly wasn't working. Adapt. And a good team will always adapt that situation and adapt the routine, and will think, okay, hang on, where are my taller players? Because all those players that I've mentioned were at the back post. They were in sort of that 12-yard line towards the back post. Right. Stick a deep ball into the back post and within the 12-yard line and get someone to attack it.
Yeah, and it's weird because they even went short.
Problems as well, like
and if you're going to go short, mix it up and knock it to the back from the short. Don't go front post from short again. Like, at least try and put it in a different area. Like, it was. I don't know. I think. I think what annoyed me most was Arteta annoyed me the most. I think more than anyone. I don't think he had, like, the way he was. Or what I will say is Bruno Guimaraes is lucky not to be sent off.
He was very lucky.
With his
very
elbow.
lucky not to be sent off. He should have been sent off.
I will.
We will say that. I think that's
100%. That's the one. But that wasn't what Arteta was moaning about. He was moaning about the goal and like everything else. I think if he'd have stuck on that, I'd have backed him. But the whole statement and stuff, I think it's a bit pathetic. And I know you always say, make it about me, whatever. But there's a difference. We were denied a very clear, obvious goal.
Yeah, but that's true. You were denied a very clear.
There's levels.
Goal. Yeah. That we have just said it about 5 minutes ago as well. It's very subjective. We have said Is it offside? No, we don't think so.
Yeah.
Is the ball in out of play? It's in play. We both think so. Is it a push? We don't know. Again, it's subjective, and the fact is, we're not sure. That goal that you scored, that you put a statement out for, it was a very clear. It was rightfully a goal.
Black and white.
You even had an announcement from PGMOL. Saying it's a goal.
But like,
I mean, if he come out and said about the Bruno Guimaraes situation, everyone would have backed him.
I'd have gone fair enough.
That is a stone wall. If you're going around like that, elbowing people, like.
Yeah, he was crunching a few lads. I think Havertz was lucky not to be sent off.
I think Havertz instigated it all, didn't he?
Yeah, it was weird. Again,
brought the fire into the game.
He caught him, but didn't catch him massively. It was weird. But I think with Arteta, what really annoyed me was that. So when that happened a few weeks ago with us, he comes out and says, "Oh, mistakes happen. Like, you just got to get on with it." But now he's bringing this up, and you're like, if you'd have actually come out and backed Liverpool in the situation and gone, do you know what, Klopp has every right to be mad, like, this isn't good enough, then something actually could have happened. Like, as I said before, if people want VAR to change, every manager needs to put allegiances aside and go, hold on a minute, this isn't good for football, let alone United, whoever it is, Liverpool, whatever. If it helps them, it helps us. Like, it's a bigger picture, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I think Arteta completely missed that point. And now like, they brought out a statement which was, I think, a bit pathetic. They only brought out to back the manager. It wasn't like they didn't really believe it. And I don't know what they're really going to achieve from it. And that annoyed me more with him. As I said, he just moaned a bit, which is a bit like, he does like a moan now and then. I'm not going to say he doesn't do it, but I think I just lost a little bit of respect from there because I didn't mind him before, but that just annoyed me. Like, he's so hypocritical of what he said before. I think
you look at the two situations this weekend, Pochettino and Arteta.
Yeah.
Like, look how both of them reacted to VAR decisions that went against them. Pochettino.
Well, Ange, you mean? Yeah, Ange. Yeah.
Did I say Pochettino?
Ange as well. Ange defended. You said Poch.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant Ange was really good. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
No, Ange was really good about it, to be fair.
Yeah, it was really good. And obviously said,
he stuck with it. Just mistakes happen. That's the thing. He stuck with it. Yeah,
he got booked, but that's only because he went outside his technical area. It wasn't because he was having a go at refs
and probably in the moment. I'd say he probably said stuff in the moment. It's easier in the moment. Yeah,
but the fact is,
rightfully so.
Yeah, he's gone obviously that and said, no, look, fair enough.
He's then taken a minute. Yeah. By the end of the game, he's then sat there and looked at it from a different perspective. Whereas Arteta's carried that emotion into the game or into the press conference rather. And I'm all for managers showing it, but there's a bit of a line where you just go, come on, mate. Like, as I said, you can't say one thing 1 week and now just because it affects you, suddenly your whole view. Like, Wolves should have a statement every other week if that's the case. Wolves have been hard done by more than anyone this season. Yeah. But that's not going to happen. But I think overall, it's a massive win for Newcastle. It's not the end of the world for Arsenal. I think a lot of the top teams will lose there. Like we've said this. It's not the end of their title race or anything like that by any means. I think you just saw that weak underbelly a bit. That's what I think that'd be my bigger concern. That I wouldn't say they got played off the park because they didn't. They just got outworked. But that will happen a lot there. But I think for Arsenal, Declan Rice is very good. Saliba and Gabriel very good. But Raya, I think Ramsdale's got to have another go. I think he's got to give another chance.
Hasn't necessarily been an improvement. From what I've seen.